Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Tier 3 Round 6 for the MRC Championship live from Baku. I am joined this evening by a guest co-commentator. He's been with us before, and I'm really pleased to have him back again. You'll know him as Mr. MRC, and without him we wouldn't all be here racing this week. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome back to the commentary box Mr. Martin Hills.
Good evening. It's finally an opportunity for me to prove that I do have some spare time occasionally in an evening.
Oh, well, yeah. After everything else that you do, as we mentioned there, just the amount that you do, without yourself we wouldn't all be racing, so it's nice to have you with us.
Oh, I'm just normally sat watching non-stop reality TV is what it actually is. I've just normally got better things to do with my evenings than sit around watching you lot drive around in circles.
Well, this evening we're joined by Tier 3 live in Baku. We've had some exciting races already this week with the Tier 1 and Tier 2 on Monday night. That was an experience, I think we can say, can't we, for both tiers?
Yeah, it might be worthwhile having a chat about some of the things we saw in Tier 2 later on this evening, but let's not get into that right now, because I wanted to keep my blood pressure a little bit lower to begin with.
Yeah, definitely. But at least the Tier 3s, they've got a good reputation, and I know for a fact they're very proud of it, and will be hoping to keep that. So we are live this evening as usual on our YouTube channel, so welcome everybody who's watching. Morgan's already made his comment, messing up the T-side too. Sorry Morgan, but you get to race, so swings and roundabouts. Martin gets to join and you get to race again.
I'm just trying to bring some class to these proceedings, to be honest with you. all these regional accents, they're making us sound ever so low class, aren't they?
I'm not going to comment. I can't do it.
Well, you'll find that in my voice I keep picking up bits of regional accent because that comes from having moved north over the last couple of years. So suddenly all of my A's sound wrong.
We don't pronounce T's or... Well, I'm part Yorkshire, so the word "the" just goes out the window occasionally.
I'll be honest with you, Mark. I didn't catch a word of that, to be honest with you, mate.
Exactly. So just want to point out that we have got a few of brand new drivers, reserves, stepping in tonight. We're on board with Melvin. He's his first outing in the Ferrari for MRC. So he's starting his first hot lap. We'll come to some others. We've got Paulo Costa. He is on an outlap as well in the Mercedes, and Monster Gaza as well in the Mercedes. So it's really nice to see them joining MRC for the first time, and we wish them and all the Tier 3 drivers the best of luck as well this evening.
Yeah, there's a lot of new names in the Tier 3 lobby overall at the moment, aren't there?
Or at
least recently joined. Yeah, or at least recently joined names. Anyway, we've got we've got quite a good uptake of new people sort of surging into the Discord at the moment, and we're doing our best to try to get as many people sort of through trials and fully signed up and ready to race as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got a few joined that are a mix of the tiers and as well. So we've got the Tier 2s, Tier 3s as well, and Tier 1, one or two Tier 1 drivers as well. So it's exciting times, I think, for MRC.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's I think we've had a bit of a fallow period when it came to recruitment, so we've sort of picked up the pace a little bit on it, and suddenly, as you'll see just by looking at the Discord, there's just a constant stream of new people joining. So we're very pleased to see so many people want to come and race with us.
Yeah, exactly. We are proud ourselves on being one of the fastest growing and one of the most friendly and open leagues out there as well, and it's just proofs in the pudding, really, that we've got all these people joining and staying.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's so if I constantly sort of reassert to people when they join up with us that really, when you do a trial, it's not about being fast. It's about being clean. It's about being aware on the track. And ultimately, once you've done your trials and we've kind of got you on board, it's about being reliable and communicating well. And those things are all way more important than your pace. At the end of the day, we've got a tier that will suit you whatever your pace is. But if you're not the right type of person for us, then we don't have a tier for you.
Yeah, there's always limits and boundaries, isn't there? but mostly we do quite well.
Looks like we've got a few yellows popping up in the first couple of sectors now that there's more people on track. There's probably a lot of people bouncing off walls, I suspect, as they start to feel the grip levels as the track rubber's in.
Yeah, very much so. We're just on board with Paulo Costa, his first outing, and unfortunately missing a front wing, so he's bailed on his lap. Looking at who's on the track, it was very busy at the opening. Everybody wanted to get out on track. Few lap times set in. Manugio's setting the pace at the moment, but BGR set a really good lap time there, 1:44.1 on the medium tyres. And then Emiliano as well, only a tenth further back on the mediums as well. So it's quite competitive up there at the top of the time screens. And Manugio 1:43.3 though is a really good solid opening lap time.
Yeah, I mean those times are pretty quick. I mean they would have fared pretty well in either of the other two tiers, to be honest with you. You wouldn't be ashamed of those times wherever you sat.
No, very much so, and I think that's the thing with this track as well. It stands out that there's so much lap time to be gained and lost, but as well it's so very close. But you're right, you can gain and lose, and you're right, it is so competitive. The one lap
it is
that you can really jump up the order. As I say, for example, Monster Gaza there, he was on a 2 minute, he just pops in a 1:44.4 on his medium tyres, so a good lap from him.
So I mean the other thing that was very apparent sort of earlier in the week was just how much this track rubber's in as well. I mean I actually messed up my timings and I didn't get out for my third run, but and sort of I just tumbled down the order really quickly. There was a lot of people going much quicker right at the end, so I think it's important that people sort of get out ideally 3 times during this session to make sure that they're aware of how the grip's changing.
Yeah, I think I was quite similar, to be honest. I messed up my last run and couldn't do much with it. Emiliano there, 1:41.5 on those medium tyres. That's an outstanding lap for Emiliano.
Yeah, it is. That's pretty staggering, really, isn't it? I mean, it does. It's one of those tracks though where you really do want to go out, do something fairly gently to make sure. Oh, sorry, I just watched Monster Gaza smash into the wall in the castle section there.
Oh, heck. Very easy to do around there, isn't it? So
I couldn't possibly comment. I didn't hit that wall and take off my front wing at all during the race on Monday. No one spotted it, so I probably shouldn't have said that, should I? I was on my own at the time.
Fair.
But no, I mean, I think what I was starting to say was it's one of those tracks where even if you've just come off doing some practice before you started this session, it all still feels different to whatever your practice session felt like, and you have to build your own confidence and sort of make sure you feel that you're ready to do a really fast lap rather than take yourself out of qualifying before you've even got started. Really, it's very easy to sort of just overcook it and remove a wheel, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I think some of those inside curbs, as we're watching Tom Brown, that inside curb that he was at there, he stayed well away from it in his outlap, but it's so easy to clip that inside curb, and it just catapults you straight into the opposite wall. There's no give and no let up round here.
No, and funnily enough, one of the other places that's actually tricky, I was actually stayed on board with Monster Gaza as he limped round because I was changing a few settings, and he's just done the classic, which is hitting the pit wall as you come in, which is also a really tricky pit entry.
It is. You want to maximise that, don't you, and get in as quick as you can. But you're right. You can make that misjudgment and clatter the wall, as you say. Monster Gas has done that.
He has. But he's fortunately he didn't take any wheels off. He's okay. He's just took a bit more of his front wing off.
Oh well, luckily that's it's unlike the career modes. It doesn't hamper your the timing to repair that wing when it's in the pits.
No, indeed. So obviously that lap from Emiliano has just been beaten by Fanning.
Wow, great lap. He's on the soft tyres, man. So that's going to be interesting. Will Red Car's up there on 42.1. I think he was very, very unlucky. Red Car last week. He was, it's the pace that you had, and of course with the different setup, the way we ran qualifying in Monaco last week. I think he was still fast in Q1, Q2, and unfortunately couldn't pull it together in the third part. And he had a good start of the race and made that unfortunate error and spin. But his comeback the pace he had was brilliant. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do tonight.
Oh yeah, I mean he's one of the standout performers in Tier 3 this season without a doubt, isn't he? He's really been absolutely nailing it everywhere.
He has. You're right. He has, and it's. it's amazing how some people this season especially have really come on, and that's what we're there for. That's what we enjoy as well, to see the drivers, see people improve week in, week out, and it's great to see.
Yeah, and there's people sort of scattered throughout all three tiers who've all come in via tier 3, and have had sort of great deals of success if they've wanted to kind of push and develop. But equally, there's just as much respect is due to the people who are happy just to be where they are, and just sort of enjoy the racing and aren't too focused and worried about improving themselves. It doesn't matter why you're here, so long as you enjoy it.
Exactly. Yeah, very well said, and yeah, good point made. But Red Guy's only 5 points off the top of the standings at the moment. Fanning is joint top with Dak Convertible, who is currently in 10th with a 44.4 on his first run. But we're getting to the stage now. I think some drivers are only really doing one run on their tyres, trying to save as many as they can for the race. So it's going to be an interesting strategy, I think, calls in this one. We saw obviously a mix. I think some people were doing, even yourself, like 4 or 5 stops in tier 2, and then we saw stand out in tier 1, some drivers only doing a 1 stop and making the tyres really last.
I'd love to say it was voluntarily 5 stops, Mike, but it was two of those were planned, 2 were forced upon me, and 1 was my own error. So
I'm trying to pick you up there,
Yeah, I know, it was all going so beautifully to plan, and then it all suddenly wasn't going beautifully to plan. But yeah, there we go. So it's interesting that Fanning's right up there and pushing hard from the get-go, because he's trying to assert himself as the championship leader here, isn't he?
He has, yeah, as we say, it's so close as well. We've got BJ only 10 points further back. He's currently in 8th, but he's done the medium tyre run. So, it's the key one, I think, is keeping those, not just out of the wall, obviously, the standard challenges that we see from Baku, but keeping the tyres cool, not spinning up the rear wheels and making them last, because they can just literally drop off the cliff around here.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I looked at it was, I felt that there was not an awful lot of point actually trying to qualify in the mediums here, to be honest with you, because ultimately you're going to be doing 2 stops at least. There are going to be safety cars. I mean, those softs will only last comfortably about 4 race laps after a qualifying session, won't they? 4 or 5.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think you could push the new set to about 6 or 7 but that is an absolute push.
On a brand new set that's not been qualified on as well. So yeah, I mean, you're at a disadvantage kind of theoretically by starting on the soft, but because of that high likelihood of a very early safety car, you might as well qualify on the softs, and you've got a pretty good chance of actually being straight in within your pit window and getting onto those mediums anyway. Whereas if you've started on those mediums and you get caught in any kind of incident, you're down a set of mediums. So
yes.
To me it was a bit of a gamble, and that was kind of the way that I was hoping it was going to work out on Monday. But I ended up, interesting you were saying about people not wanting to use too many sets of tyres. So many people ended up going back onto old worn tyres because they ran out of new options. So so let's hope there's not too many safety cars.
Yeah, I hope so. I think I would have done the same way, but unfortunately my wing and car ended up in a wall as well, so I didn't get the opportunity to use any worn tyres in the end. but we've just seen... sorry, go on.
No, go, carry on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've just seen Carl. We were on board with Carl for the lap there. He got caught up a little bit with Joyful Hell, I think it was, going down the pit straight, but still popped it up into 7th, so a nice clean lap from him on a 1:43.5.
Yeah, I think he'll be satisfied with that as his banker. He's obviously he said in the comments that he's waiting for the track to quieten down a bit because it was stupendously busy to start off with. So he's obviously waited for the track to kind of clear out a little bit, waited for it to rubber in a little bit and gone for his first lap. And I think, sticking yourself 7th on your first attempt isn't too bad.
No, I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, you can't go wrong with that. I think you'd be pretty happy. We've got 3 drivers not made a lap time yet. Of course, Stu, being a Tier 2 driver, can only qualify on the mediums, so he hasn't decided to go out.
He's just coming out now.
Yeah, I think TY Claire's going to be doing the same.
I think it's Ty, isn't it? I think he's a tyre on or something like that, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, he's not far off.
Yeah, he's Ty, not TY. I was just checking it. He's Tyron, he is.
Ah, right. Sorry for that. We've been calling him that for weeks, all season. I've been calling him that.
So I see everybody's names over and over and over again. So in my mind, I'm quite good at knowing the real name of the person behind the PSN.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. We've got a few people that we're not sure of. Oh, I'm really not sure of. There's of course the one that we laugh every week at is Nico, Pua Nico, who we just go solo pollute and we just give in. And I know he loves it. I know he loves that as well. So there's a few I've just given in on.
I call him Soapy.
Soapy, okay.
So another relatively new driver is right up there in this session is Paulo Costa, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a great lap from him, and he's on another out lap. So that's there's on board with Orange Jaffa there. VGR was in a wall. He scared the life out of Orange Jaffa. You could see the correction he was made on his steering, and I think that will have cost him quite a bit of time on his lap. But yeah, it's Paulo Costa. It's a really good opening lap from him, as Fanning 5-place penalty with Simba for a collision somewhere along that lap, both on out laps. Fanning currently in Paul and Simba in 7th, and they're both up there in the championship. So that's something to potentially we'll have to have a look at later on.
They don't seem to be close together on the track, though, from what I can see.
Unless one's had an accident and hasn't ghosted at one point, we're not sure.
Just having a quick look at Mark Simba. He's travelling slowly, but he doesn't look like he's carrying damage at all.
At least he'll be relieved on that one, then he'll be able to get through and do his lap. Just going to look on board, see who we've got. We're going to find Emiliano. There he is. Who was just bounced off the wall in turn 2. So I think he's had a big moment. He's lost his front wing. So Emiliano, that'll be him for the session. Tom Brown's on a slow lap, maybe looking to go again. Who's on a quick lap? Paulo Costa's on a quick lap. He's just where's he?
He's just catching some traffic in front there.
He's at not a very good place. I think that's Joyful Hell who's actually got in the way, so he's had to bail on that lap.
He has, and he's obviously missed on going round again now. So
yeah, so it's 4th currently for him. So we'll nip back Paulo to red car. He's just come through the castle section. He's on the soft tyres now. See what he can do with his lap time. Takes a different line into that last, what we call it. I call it the second last corner. I know it's not, but for intents and purposes, the second last braking zone. He's actually a bit slower this lap. He's 8/10 down on his previous best. But Manigio's hit the checkered flag. Monster Gaza in 11th, BGR in 12th. They've hit the flag. A lot of drivers now. They're not seeming to be improving on their times.
I'm just watching Simba on his outlap. He's about to come through the first sector and give us an indication of how he's doing, because he's someone who seems to have quite a lot of inherent pace around here from what I've seen.
He does. I think he might have just outbraked himself there a little bit. He was close there, wasn't he? 700ths up on his previous time.
Yeah, he caught a little bit of traffic as well, though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did just, but hopefully didn't hamper him. That may have just caught him out into the braking zone. He's still trying to push through and see. He'll see on his own delta. Unfortunately, we don't get that, but he'll see on his delta how he...
Yeah, I think it's sector 2 where you make so much of the time as well, isn't it? So quite often, if you can get a really good exit out of the castle section, like he seems to have done there, that sets you up to take a big chunk out of your overall lap time sometimes. Yeah,
very much so. And you can actually just, if you can carry that speed and nail the castle as well through the infamous Charles Leclerc moment. He lost a 10th, so you still, if you get a good exit out of here, you could still even get that 10th back up. Not scrub some speed.
I felt he could have used a little bit more track on the exit there, which would have given him a little bit more speed as he came out onto the the final corner, as we're calling it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there's a car ahead of him, so he's using that for a little bit of slipstream as he did. So that's going to help him a little bit, hopefully. And it doesn't improve, but only just by 500ths of a second. So that gives Fanning the pole position. Of course, the 5-place penalty means that Emiliano takes pole.
Deary me, that's a costly mistake, isn't it? However that's happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Like I say, we didn't see it, and I think it's right, a costly mistake, as you rightly say. So, it'll be interesting to see what's happened and if the stewards pick up on it after the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that we both managed to miss that. It was obviously something we wouldn't have been watching because they were both on outlaps. So, am I right in thinking that Man is actually still on a hot lap here?
I'm going to nip down and see. Man, he is, and he's 4 tenths up.
He is. He's improving quite a lot, so he's going to stick himself into the top 10, I think.
Yeah, he could do, yeah, very easily with this time. On board, so he's heading down now. DRS will be wide open towards the finish line, and a 1:43.8 puts him 13th with that.
Oh, he's obviously missed a little bit in that last segment of the time lap there, unfortunately.
We had Ty Clare. He's abandoned his lap as well. So I think that's a wrap now for qualifying. There we are.
It is.
So with that 5-place penalty, that means Emiliano takes the pole position here in Baku. Tom Brown will take second with Paulo Costa in third. Red Car Rambo will be moved to fourth. I think Fanning will be dropped to fifth. Manugio will be sixth. We'll see if Simba actually got a penalty as well. See if that will drop him down. We didn't see anything flag up. So we'll wait for the glitch that happened on Monday actually as well. It's on.
It's a new one.
It's second for a while.
It's happened. I think it's happened 3 or 4 times now. Actually, it just seems to sit there waiting for the AI to drive the cars around in circles until they get to the pits. It's very odd.
Yeah, I've seen a few cars go around a few times, but I think I'm just looking at who's on track. There's a few of them still going round.
Man's obviously just completed his lap, so he's on an in lap back in again.
Yeah, he crossed after the checkered flag, so we'll see if it takes him, like you say, another lap before it will actually pit him.
But it's certainly another interesting glitch that Codemasters have managed to provide us with.
Yeah, they fixed one and add another. But never-ending cycle of guessing games, I think, with Codemasters.
I mean, Carl's actually just commented on the YouTube that he thinks they're in a glitch, but someone says that in every session. Eventually, it just sorts itself out. Here's the AI is coming into the pits now, so hopefully this will free things back up.
Yeah, hopefully that will give it a. We've unfortunately got to wait for it to actually sit back in.
Bizarrely, the AI just sent a car out in front.
Oh wow!
Which I think was Ty Clear. I think Ty Clear's car has just gone back on the track.
Yeah, it says outlap. Oh, that's definitely a new one. Very new one. I've never seen it take somebody on an outlap before.
No. Let's hope that this isn't something terminal occurring.
No, hopefully not.
Well, I guess we better find something to talk about.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Mark, but I really enjoy cheese.
And it goes with a nice red wine, just to top it off.
It does. And what about that football? That was great.
There's another sport other than F1. I didn't realise.
Oh, I don't know anything about football really. I just, it's the sort of thing here people say in a pub, isn't it?
Look, I'm from Middlesbrough. There's nothing good about the football up here at the moment. So we'll definitely skip that one.
Well, from what I know about Middlesbrough, there's nothing good about the pubs either. So
wait till Morgan gets onto you, and Red Car as well. There'll be words.
I didn't even think there was natural. I thought it was all natural light and flame lit torches and stuff up that part of the world, to be honest with you. But yeah,
it's like an episode of Game of Thrones up here.
So if Ty's car does not come into the pits, where is that going to leave us? Because we can't sit here forever waiting for this session to terminate itself. That's a very weird one. I've never seen this game do this previously.
No, it's not. It's sending him out. It's keeping him on track. So it did this for a good minute or two last time round. And Gav's put up there, it does actually sort in T2 and practice. So we'll see what happens there. Oops. So if Ty Clare's is in AI mode, which we're watching go around, the AI just hit the wall. So that shows how tricky the track is.
Well, actually, to be fair, the AI just passed through a wall then, which was interesting. So
people think we're in a glitch, but if you're live and you're watching, this is absolutely fantastic. We can actually see what Codemasters are doing with this with the game at the moment.
This isn't AI. There's something weird happening here. That is not AI driving that car, I don't think. Do you think it's like a repeat of a previous run or something?
Well, that's potential, yeah, because we know Ty's he's a good driver and he's a clean driver. I'm not actually sure what's going on with that.
Because the AI would not be off track as much as this.
No, but we saw the glitch in the Tier 1 race where we had Jay Bradbury, who was currently running at the time, was running in second, suddenly ghosted and was disappeared and was last for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a horrible feeling it's going to leave this car on the track. Let's give it this last 20 seconds and see what happens. But if not, I suspect this could be a lobby restart, couldn't it?
It could be. We haven't had one for a little while, so hopefully it's just a temporary glitch, and it's now you see it's taking it back into the pits. So hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the end of it. We'll wait to see. Standout performances, I think, from qualifying. We've got Gearban in 9th on the SOT, and then Carl's in 10th as well. Melvin 11th, great for his first run out. Monster Guys in 14th, so that's nice to see the new guys up there.
Absolutely. It's I mean, it must be nice for those guys to sort of come straight in and sort of see that they're on the pace as well. Now,
yeah, definitely.
I hate to tell you this, the AI has sent a whole load of cars out. This is glitched for sure.
Yeah,
there's about 10 cars on the track.
Yeah. Okay. So what we'll do, ladies and gents, is sorry for this. We will cut the broadcast and we will join you again very shortly. So apologies, and we will see you soon for the race proper.